The other concept that we need to look at is peace. Peace is really a difficult concept to define, because most of the time we talk of peace when we are not able to recognize it. We talk of peace when it is not available, during its absence. But when it is there, we cannot be able to explain what it is. But Galtung, the founder of peace studies and peace research, felt the need to explain what peace is. And for him, he looked at peace in two dimensions. The first dimension is positive and the second is negative. So for him, he explained peace in terms of positive and negative peace. For him, positive peace denotes all the simultaneous presence of many desirable states. States of mind, state of the society, state of humanity. So if there is harmony, and that harmony is desirable, then for him, there is peace. If there is justice, meaning that each person is able to get what is due to them, then for him, there is peace. If there's equity in the distribution of resources, equity in the implementation of policies, equity in dealing with different issues and the like, then for him, there is peace. So for him, this is where we find lack of structural violence. So when there's no structural violence, for Galtung, this is positive peace. And in structural violence, you find that violence is embedded in all the structures. And people think that this is the order of the day. For example, when people are used to corruption, that's already a structural violence. When people are expected to pay for services even what they deserve, already that is structural violence. When people are not getting what is their due, meaning injustice, that's already structural violence. So if, for Galtung, when there's no structural violence, then that's when we have positive peace. And for him, negative peace is whereby people talk about absence of war. Many people explain peace in terms of absence of war. When there are no large-scale violent human conflicts, that is negative peace. When there is no organized military violence taking place, that is negative peace. So it is important to realize that peace should be looked at from the structural perspective and also from the issues that are overt. So look at the overt and covert issues, and then you'll be able to talk about peace. The other concept that is of interest to us is leadership. And we say leadership is the process of influencing others to understand and agree about what needs to be done. So in leadership, there must be the influencing aspect. There must be a goal that is being achieved. And there must be people who are going to be influenced so that they must have a shared objective. So it means the people who are there plus the leader must agree and must move towards the same direction. So an individual here must influence a group of individuals to achieve a common goal. So if that is leadership, then what is responsible leadership? And we say here, when we talk about the responsible leadership, since leadership is the art of influencing, rather responsible leadership is the art of motivating, is the art of communicating, is the art of empowering and convincing people to engage, and to engage with the vision, and the vision that is acceptable to the organization, so that they can be able to attain those goals, and specifically the vision to attain sustainable development, and mostly also the change that is needed in a particular organization. And therefore we come to say that responsible leadership is also a multi-level phenomenon, and this involves individuals, It involves groups, it involves organizations that emphasizes leadership effectiveness, that emphasizes ethical behavior, that emphasizes respect for stakeholders, and all those people who are engaged in ensuring that the organization achieves the intended goals. Therefore, when we talk about responsible leadership, we must have direction, we must have the empowerment, we must have people at heart, and we must have respect and enable all people to move towards the attainment of that. So finally, we'll ask ourselves, after having talked about all these elements, all these concepts, is there a relationship between corruption, transparency, and peace? If we say peace is about harmony, if peace is about justice and equity in the society, then if all these permeate the structures of the society, then we say there will be a sense of harmony with God, the self, and others, not forgetting the environment. And for this to be achieved, then transparency must prevail, because it's transparency that will fight corruption, corruption that fuels conflict. And when there is conflict, when there is corruption, most of the time we find a lot of social injustices, that people are not able to get what their needs are. They are not able to get what is due to them. And for such things to be overcome, then we say responsible leadership must embrace transparency, must embrace open policy, must embrace individual empowerment, and must embrace full disclosure of relevant information to the stakeholders so that they can be able to work together. And this will lead to trust. If there's openness, if there's respect, then it will lead to trust. It will lead to acceptance of the leadership, and consequently, this will be able to promote sustainable peace.